Well, meanwhile, in the realm of real news, the 4th of July holiday saw ominous actions from the country of North Korea. On Tuesday, the DPRK launched its first ever ICBM, a two-stage rocket that could travel more than 3,000 miles, the U.S. military estimates. That's far enough to hit Alaska. Now, today, the UN ambassador, Nikki Haley, warned that military action is on the table as a response to aggression from North Korea. What happens next? Michael Malice is an expert on that country and a biographer of Kim Jong-il. George Friedman is the founder of Geopolitical Futures, and they both join us now. So first to you, Michael, what is the point, as an expert on North Korea, what is the point of this exercise? The Kim regime obviously thinks this through. It has some strategic purpose. What would that be?
See, when you're trying to analyze North Korea, it's trying to like read a book upside down in a mirror and underwater. You have to try to deduce backwards. And what I realized just today is this. North Korea has always asserted their right under their sovereignty, just like the U.S., to engage in shipment and sales of weapons. What we are seeing, in my opinion, incidentally or by accident, is North Korea having commercials for their product. They're showing that their missiles work, and they're also showing their missiles allow them, a country the size of Pennsylvania, to stand up against China, Japan, South Korea, and the U.S. and basically be invincible. So this is a great sales pitch for them to show that they have weapons that they can sell and make a lot of money of, and I haven't heard anyone realize that that's the case.
That's fascinating. It's a dangerous sales technique. George Friedman, you game things out for a living, I think pretty accurately. We're going to press China to help mitigate this threat. If they don't respond and we're forced to use military action of some kind, what happens next?
Well, first, the Chinese have no reason to solve this. They don't want the North Koreans to have weapons, but they would love the United States to have the military need. Because in that case, the United States may fail, it will be portrayed as an aggressor, and so on. So I don't think there's any chance of China really solving this. The next step is to continue to press so that the United States makes it very clear that they've tried everything possible. At the point where that fails, Secretary of Defense Mattis has made it very clear. The United States will not allow North Korea to get an ICBM that can reach the United States, and is not going to wait for military action until they do get that ability.
So what does that, I mean, if I can just quick follow-up, so what does that mean? What form would military action take, do you think, most likely against North Korea?
Well, the obvious goal is to take out the nuclear facilities. The problem is that the North Koreans have massive artillery aimed at our ally, South Korea, aimed at Seoul, a city of 25 million, designed to deter anybody from acting. We're therefore going to have to go after those artillery pieces. The problem is they're defended by heavy air defenses. That means we're going to have to take down the air defenses. And that means that this is way more complicated than a surgical strike. And it's one of the reasons why the United States has tried to do everything possible not to have to go do this. Because if we do it, it is complicated, it is messy, and it's dangerous.
Well, it sounds incredibly dangerous. Michael Malice, do you see another way out?
I mean, we've already passed the point where we've tried everything. We tried to be nice with them. We had the sunshine policy with South Korea. We tried to be threatening with sanctions, and Kim Jong-il chose to allow his population to starve rather than let the UN bring in food and keep them alive, because he said if we let the UN in, they won't need the government. So we've tried threats. We've tried to be nice, and North Korea continues blindly on its path. And, you know, I disagree in the sense that they now have an ICBM that is capable of reaching the United States. They have crossed the red line. And at the same time, I don't think it's realistic that we're going to engage in military action with them, certainly not in the near future, and certainly not when China and Russia both said very recently that military action is off the table.
George Friedman, it seems so reckless of China, which my understanding is the one country that might be able to exert pressure sufficient to stop this, to stand back and allow it to happen. Do you think the Chinese leadership has thought this through?
Yeah, I think they have. I don't think the moment for military action is there. I don't think they have a capable ICBM at this point. I disagree with my colleague. I think they are close to it, but their guidance system isn't there. It isn't proven. The Chinese feel that we will act before they reach that point. We probably are getting very close to that point, and they're prepared to let us go do that. The Chinese are not necessarily reckless, but they think the Americans are predictable, and we are in this particular case, and they're going to carry the burden. And I think the problem is that the United States really doesn't want to attack. But I think the decision point here is, when do they have a deliverable nuclear weapon? My view is they don't have that yet.
I don't see a good outcome or certainly good options. Thank you to you both. Michael and George,
Thank you.
appreciate it.